y'all. This is Shiv, and I'm here today with Glaiza in the first iteration of my own personal show called Parallel Play. For those of us who may be on some form of neurodivergence, we always know how much fun it is to play or exist beside somebody who's just as interested in being just as quiet as you. So I thought this would be a really fun way for us to try out solo TTRPGs made by small creators and see the various ways that they can branch out by doing it concurrently with the game dev. So thank you, Glaiza, for joining me for my inaugural show. This is my first time streaming by myself, so thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And Missing Month is my favorite game that I've ever made, and I've been playing it since I finished making it because of how much I love it.
It honestly is such a cool system. Just we were just talking about this as we were doing our tech. It's a system that instead of using dice, it uses playing cards, and it's got so many options that it does have a really high replayability. And I will probably be wasting lots of time of my own playing it once we're done here. I am a very avid writer, aside from doing TTRPGs. So, like, solo TTRPGs is just like, hey, do you want to write with rules? So I'm really excited. For those of you who don't know me, have never watched any of my previous streams, I am Siobhan. I go by Shiv. I am found at drbubblesphd, just about anywhere you can find me. And also here with Find Out Productions in our premiere week. And Glaiza, where can we find you?
Hey, I'm everywhere on the internet as Classical Glaiza. If you find a Classical Glaiza, guess what? You found me. If you find a different Glaiza, I would suggest approaching with caution. But Classical Glaiza everywhere on the internet. If you want to find all of the little social links or whatever, you can go check connect.classicalglaiza.com. But honestly, just Classical Glaiza everywhere. If you find it, that's me.
Excellent.
Power of what was that? The marketing label? Whatever. The handle. The same handle everywhere.
We've gone through so many names for screen names since I started using screen names that I don't even know what we call ourselves anymore.
Honestly, I got you. I understand that.
So, Glaiza, why don't you go ahead and give us the first spot, how we get this whole shebang started.
Missing Month is basic consistent branding. Thank you. But yes, consistent branding is what I was talking about. But anyway, Missing Month is a game that I wrote one night when I was missing my grandmother. And it's in the game itself. Let me read the narrative that I wrote here. When I was a child, my grandmother would tell me stories of another world, a world that steals away time. She'd speak in whispers while candles flicker in the night about a world of magic so different from ours. And she would say, "Have you ever noticed when the morning turns into the afternoon in the blink of an eye? Or when summer vacation ends when you're so sure it has just begun?" I nod and she would smile. "That's when you go to this world of magic and come back without any memory of it. And then you go back and you remember it all over again. All of that time adds up," she would say, "to become the missing month." And that's just I don't know if it's a Filipino thing or if it's just something that she made up, which either way I think it's pretty cool. But because of that, I made this game, and it's a world building game, and it's a game of remembering and saying goodbye.
I love this. It's I will be entirely honest. I thought that first bit was completely made up. It's really nice to know that it comes from part of your own kind of
A lot of
experience there.
a lot of the stories that I have picked up when I was younger is definitely just my grandmother, like gathering all of the cousins together because like we were in the Philippines, and and at that time there was a lot of like blackouts. So, um, and all of the cousins would just be like all restless and stuff. And then she would just gather us all together and sit down and tell us all these different stories. She would never admit that it was just a story, but she also told me that my grandfather was a monster hunter in the Philippines. So I think that's pretty cool. Whether or not, my grandfather is a monster hunter, and I am also affiliated with monsters.
I love this. This is a really stupendous kind of just leaping off point. So, if you don't mind, what we're going to use to play today, well, we have the missing month instructions and a timer and a stopwatch. Today, I'm utilizing Lofi Sessions Spirit City for the timer options available for it, and our lovely background music and little avatars. A pen and paper to write on, which we are using the journal tab in there, and a normal deck of playing cards, which I will absolutely own up to and say that I thought it was tarot cards and was woefully unprepared, but I am prepared now. So I am very excited. And so, are you ready to go ahead and dive in with me?
Yes, of course, I am ready to get to it.
All right, so we're going to start with character creation, which is a shuffling of the cards. And go ahead and shuffle, and let's see, draw 4 cards. One. I'm going to go ahead and just call out what I got. If you'd like.
So, what I want us to do is, I want to show off the replayability of the game. We will be answering the same prompts,
Cool.
and the same
Excellent.
everything, but we'll come up with different worlds.
All right, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and then note it here. We got the 10 of hearts. And then card number 2 is the King of Hearts. And card number 3, Queen of Diamonds.
Ooh, we're getting the higher immediately.
Look, I'd be doing very well in blackjack, but... And finally, something a little lower, a 5 of clubs.
5 of clubs?
Clubs.
Awesome.
All right. So we're going to go ahead, and the first card is going to guide you in answering the question about your purpose. What does your character consider as their job or their purpose in life?
The if you scroll down on the character, the instructions, there are character prompts that will show you like the inspiration. You don't have to follow them, but the inspiration is there. So for like the first one, the 10 of hearts, we will be writing for 10 minutes about the job, a purpose that creates, or a job that creates. So the character, the sweet decides, gives you inspiration on what you want the what's the word I'm looking for? The inspiration as you're typing about who the character is.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start our clock.
Okay.
And go ahead and get typing. 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Job that creates. Oh, I don't want to waste too much time, but I'm like, oh, job that creates. Let me think. Mhm. Mhm. And that's time.
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 Awesome.
I did not realize how much I could write in 5 minutes if I just focused.
It's a lot.
Just was like, oh yeah, 5 minutes. I'll just think about it. And I was like, oh my god, I can just keep going. Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the, like, when I first created this game, I wanted to come up with like a way where you just write and keep writing and writing and writing, and then forced to stop. And that's, it's because of I was obsessed with one, creating worlds, and then Pomodoro writing. So these two things were like my mindset at the time when I started this, when I started making um yeah. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really funny because I do a shitload of text RP, and I kind of will just hammer out a response on my phone or on Discord when I'm just kind of doing other things, and I like never really timed how long it takes me to like write multiple paragraphs, and I was like, oh yeah, 5 minutes will be a couple of sentences, and I was just like, oh no, I can just go.
oh, you can just go.
So
With missing month, the longest that you'll type is 13 minutes because it's the king, which we will be doing right now. The
oh,
King of Hearts.
excellent.
For uh
13. Oh, I see why you're like, oh, these are all high.
yeah, because it's like we're
Beans.
getting rid of all of the high ones pretty quickly.
Oh, oh, and then our final. Oh boy.
5 minutes is the next one,
minutes.
so it'll be interesting.
Okay. All right.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you want to go ahead and read out what you got, or we want to wait till the end and we have the whole thing?
We can read it out. It's normally it's a lot.
Mhm.
We could do a
I was
gist
about-
of it if you'd like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's do Cliff Notes.
Yeah, it's a little idea of like who this person is.
Mhm.
My person, I think it's because it was like a job that creates. The first thing that came to my mind was a gardener, and then I just kept going. It's a gardener that makes gardens for people's homes, and this gardener has been like working for most other people, and is being hired by several homeowners, and they're
Right.
like, maybe I should accept jobs from companies. No, I want to be a gardener for the people, for not from companies. And then I was like, what else can I type? Oh, what will happen when I die? I want to be buried in a garden. So this guy just like is a gardener from head to toe. That is his purpose, and he creates. And what the thing that he wrote at the end was like, um, uh, a gardener in their garden is the last sentence that I wrote.
I I was actually kind of surprised with like maybe it's just been on my brain because I've been writing a character who's a baker, but like when it was like someone who creates, I'm like baker, like just like Great British Baking Show, like that person who just everything she does is a work of art, and like while
Yep.
people will be like, yeah, no, they're baked goods. Those are little pieces of art, and like very much the I pour myself into my work and I don't take care of myself. I eat reject pastries and microwave meals kind of thing. And we don't need to sit here and unpack how you and I immediately were like,
No,
somebody creates for
not
everyone
nothing.
else for
Nothing else.
themselves.
You just dump your stuff and you move on.
Right.
And you'll see it in the other parts of the prompts where that the reason why you have like a 5-minute break in between is you're supposed to just not look at it. You're supposed to not pay attention to what you wrote, and then you come back later. The game tag is it's a game of remembering and saying goodbye. You actually go back later to as it's part of the 30-minute where you try to read what you wrote, and then you say goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Because you've chosen which world you want to stick with. But we'll see this later. You'll see this as we play the game more.
I also, with Glaiza's permission, have looked at none of this. I am doing this completely blind, as if somebody just sitting down opening the game for the first time, just to show kind of the ease of jumping into something like this. So
Also, if it's not easy, it helps me. Like, oh, there's a couple things I need to fix in this playtest, I guess.
incredible. It's hey, you know what? Do you scratch my back? I'll scratch yours. But at least what we know now is we have a gardener and a baker.
Yes.
And those were the
We have
two
a gardener
directions
and
we
a
went.
baker, and about to get isekai'd. Well, after we create other stuff, about to isekai into a world that is very different from each other.
So we are gonna go into our people.
Yes.
I guess.
Uh,
So we will do a. Do you want to go ahead and take an actual 5-minute break? I know we just
oh no.
chit-chatted.
Let's take the let's just in the interest of time, we'll
Mhm.
do a 1 minute break in the actual gameplay, but in character creation you don't take breaks. You just keep going.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
perfect. Okay.
because this
So
is someone you want to remember. This is who you
Perfect.
are. It brings you into the game. So
I love this. Okay. This is great. Honestly, this is really. This was just such a silly idea of mine to be like, oh, I'll just play with the developer. But it's so nice to like kind of hear how you envisioned it to be played.
the
Um,
first time I created this, it was just the prompts and then I realized that you also need, because like I every time I played it, I kept going, well, I'm gonna choose this fancy world that I made, and it's because you don't get to know the character that you're building. You don't get to know what they're leaving behind. You don't get to know who they are as you're playing this game. So that's why I created character creation part. That's also why there's a part here where it's called return home scenarios. Basically, at some point, you return. The questions are focused on the home that you are coming from, so that it gets harder to say goodbye. You know what I mean? And it's that's the purpose of that. Yeah.
dig. I dig. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So let's go ahead and we have it's the King of Hearts because I remember things. So we have
The next
Hearts,
one is,
which is people
yeah,
you're
the King of
related
Hearts
to.
for the second question.
Yeah. So
And the second
the
question is, uh, who are they? Oh no, the people. Second card will guide you in answering the question about the people that you love and hold dear to you. Who are they, and how long have you known them?
okay.
And
We got 13 minutes on the clock for this. Oh boy, I think this is going to get very long-winded.
then it is it King of Diamonds? If I'm not mistaken.
Hearts.
Oh, King of Hearts. It's people that you're related to is who you're going to be describing
I have a
as
feeling
your inspiration.
it's a lot of people for 13 minutes.
that is an interesting. That's a lot of stuff to write about them.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the people that you love, and how long have you known them? Okay. I can do this. I can do this.
All right, let's go. You ready?
Yes.
13 minutes on the clock. People you love. that gets rolling, and you just go. I was like, oh, I don't know what to write.
That
13
is well, okay.
Yeah, 13 minutes I thought was going to be a really
30
long
minutes is a
time.
lot.
But
The good news is you can only pull. So with this game, you don't pull the same cards ever again. It's gone after you pulled it up. You won't ride for 13 minutes unless you get like 13 of like a different suit. So no more King of Hearts in this replay. But yeah, that is a lot of typing.
I genuinely, when we take our break, might have to go like get my crochet gloves. I'm like, oh, that's so much typing. My compression gloves.
I usually when I play this, I write it in my journal so that it's like it's slower. I don't have to type so much, but it's definitely it is a lot of typing.
I mean, even if I were writing it with a pen, I think I would really my hands. They're so tired. Okay, 20 years of cosplay and decades of typing and writing. I've been unkind to my middle-aged self. Okay, but yeah. Do you feel like you know them a little bit more?
A little bit more, yeah. I've definitely gotten to know them much more because I'm like, now I know their family. Now I know their purpose. Now I know why they love animals so much. So I'm getting better at it, really.
It's really kind of interesting how it's such a minimal prompt, but it's so easy to just get going. Like
it's the time, I think. The fact that you have to write during that whole time, you're just like, okay, well, what else? The prompt is just a jumping point, and you just keep going.
That's yeah, it's just, I think because it's such a simple prompt, you can just meander. Like, and once again, you said the replayability is like, if I got this prompt a second time, it would be a totally different kind of approach to it, and it's just I like how open-ended it is, and that's I don't know, it's great.
It's lovely because I love the fact that we can do character creation like this, where because like a lot of character creation, it starts with like you coming up with all these things, right?
Right.
Like you have to like, okay, background stuff, all that. But with Missing Month, you get to discover the person that you're building with each question. So let's discover your character.
So my baker comes from a large family. It might be slightly inspired. I didn't get into cousins. I probably could have kept going if we could get into cousins. Look, I come from an Irish Catholic family. Okay, I know what a lot of cousins look like. But 3 brothers, mom and dad, and 2 birds. I had to put some pets in there. I think my favorite is it's a pair of lovebirds, and their names are Mulder and Scully, where Mulder's the colorful one and Scully's the goth girlfriend. Like family of teachers. They all teach in some capacity, and I'm like, I don't know. I just really like the idea of like, you know, people who just don't gatekeep knowledge. And so everyone teaches something. And it was really easy to kind of start to, I'm surprised how the names came to me, okay? Usually that's the thing I struggle with is like,
I haven't named anybody yet. They're all my parents, my brother, my sister. Like they all do not have names.
I thought I was gonna do that, and it just like, they just popped out. I don't know that I named Dad. Actually, I think I named the brothers and the mom. I don't think I named Dad. Well, he's just Dad. And then where'd you get going?
I basically just said that I come from a family of like farmers. So my parents basically like have this farm, and everything we learned is about like every single job that the kids have chosen is related to the farm. Like the farm taught us like how to take care of plants and animals and whatever, And then my brother became a biologist. He wanted to learn more about the biology part of like the scientific labels and stuff. And then the sister became a vet because of like loving animals, and that was instilled by our parents. Like with our parents being like making sure they start off healthy and what to do, my sister will be the one in charge of, taking care of them. And I said, because of that, I became the artist of the family, where I took the lessons that I learned and designed gardens and used that as my art piece. And I learned the knowledge from my brother of what animals and plants are dangerous and what they shouldn't be doing, and how to make sure that. And from my sister, who's a vet, I learned how to like make sure that the garden is safe for the pets, for the people who own the house. And you know and at the end of the day, my parents continue to wish that we will just come back to the farm and take over the family business. And I think for my character, at least, I don't know about the brother and the sister, for my character at least, it's just assumed that, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We took all this stuff that you gave to us, took it outside, and everything that we learned we're gonna bring back to the farm, to the family. So that's where I went with that one.
I love that. It's so funny. I also have a veterinarian in my
Nice.
family. We have the three brothers. We have one who's the athlete who became a martial arts teacher.
Nice.
Then we have the other who became an artist but is an art teacher. And then we have the caregiver who became a veterinarian, but he's now teaching at a teaching hospital.
Nice.
Associated with his university. I was just like, that's funny. We both wandered into veterinarian.
Yeah.
And yeah, mom taught her everything that she knows about baking, and it's a very guarded secret, but she does have a successful YouTube channel with the recipes she's willing to share.
Nice. Oh my gosh.
And,
I'm having such a good time with this part, sharing it with you, because like I love seeing what other people write, and 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 again, as the people are watching, we're answering the same prompts and writing the same thing, and we're coming up with two different characters in two different worlds. And that is Missing Month, really. Like the replayability, it's meant to make characters, it's meant to make a world.
It's really interesting, at least for me, as far as writing, because typically either for character creation or for like when I'm doing TTRPGs or when I'm writing any of my text RP, I'm very much in kind of a fantasy starting out. So it was kind of interesting for me to kind of contextualize and be like, I want this person to be in a very modern world. We have things like YouTube and memes and stuff like that. So when the isekai comes, it's not just I'm jumping from fantasy to fantasy. I'm jumping from a world we know to a world that is totally separate. So I was just having fun with it. I've never realized how much fun it is to write in modern settings.
It's definitely also like before, like I said, before this, the first iteration of this game, I didn't have the character creation. So you tended to be like, make yourself, just be the one that gets isekai'd. And at some point you're just be like, a lot, it's nice to have the extra layer of like another person that you're making, and then that person, you get to know them and build their world, but they're still coming from a mundane sort of world. It's still the world that we know. I mean, you could technically you could still make a fantasy character that gets isekai to another world, if that's what you want to do. That it doesn't limit that, so you can still do it. But I think it's a lot of fun to create this character from the mundane world.
I mean, look, I'm absolute weeb trash, so I know the isekai happens when the truck hits you. So we need to have trucks.
we will see the isekai.
So we've got our next prompt, which is going to be diamonds, Queen of Diamonds.
Yes,
So that's
the Queen
going
of
to be
Diamonds. And
11 minutes? No, 12 minutes.
Yeah, 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
The third card will guide you in answering the question about your most treasured possession. How did you come by it, and what would you feel if you were to lose it?
Oh man,
That
I've
is,
already
that is the
established.
question.
I was gonna say I've already established his character is like a book nerd and always has like audiobooks going in her ears and stuff. And then we get a book containing your favorite story as our prompt, and I'm like,
as our prompt for diamonds. Well. Here you go. It was like it was meant for you at this moment in time.
Oh, I gotta decide if I want to use like a real world book or come up with my own. I don't know. But yeah, this is it. If anything, if you are not somebody who wants to play like TTRPG in the sense of sitting at a table and pretending to be someone else, if you are a writer, this is a great way to just shake the cobwebs off and just have some direction to go. Like, this is my first ever solo TTRPG in general. I've been playing tabletop since I was 18. We're not going to get into how old I am right now, but that was 2008. So I have never sat down and played by myself in something. So it's interesting to see that it just pours out, like having the guide as somebody who likes to write and do tabletop. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
Are you ready to do that 12-minute? It's gonna be much shorter for the future, just so you guys know. It doesn't go back to the 10. The cards do not go back. So the more we get the long ones, the more we get short ones later.
The other thing to consider is we do really like to spend a lot of time on who is going to these places, so we know what they miss.
This is honestly, like, I've been playing this since, so I made this, but I love the way it works, and sometimes I just need a different, like when I'm writing, I just need I need to step away and just do something. I've been playing Missing Month since I made it, and I've just, when I finish it, I go start a new game, and and a new game, and like I don't, like, sometimes I take, so in the rules of the game, you can choose how long the break you want to take is. It's like 5 minutes is the recommended time, just some time for you to like step away and come back. But I take a day of a break, so I don't remember what I put down, so that it's like, and then you come back and you're like, all right, let's answer this new question based on my small idea or a memory of what I wrote yesterday, which makes the world more fun because it's a lot more different every single time. You just come up with new stuff to say.
I like that. Yeah, just kind of taking like a day at a time for each prompt. As somebody who really likes to journal, but like never really likes to write real feelings, it's almost a really fun way to explore it. Like, or roleplay and writing have been kind of my journaling prompts, where I put the things I'm feeling in someone else's mouth, so it's easier for me to process it. And maybe sometimes become a little too self-aware and go, oh, maybe that's something I should bring up with my
like, oh, I should probably, where did that come from? I should probably unpack that moment, because I don't know why my character is feeling this way, and it feels very real. And then that's how that fiction is very powerful, really.
My therapist once baited me. I'm gonna say Lateria baited me, asking me to talk about my Dungeons and Dragons game when I was going through something, and I info dumped for most of a session about this particular character I put a lot of thought into, and we get 35 minutes into an hour-long session, and she goes, and I see her, she's taking notes the whole time, and she looks up, she goes, so why don't we talk about your mom? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna need you to shut up for 2 minutes. I know I pay you to do this. And then we did the whole Romeo check-ins for the rest of that campaign.
Man, I love therapists, because I too was recently baited by my therapist. Joyce, you did this. I was talking about my Notion board. I know this is a side tangent. I was talking about my Notion board and how I spent the week just building it up. And then she's like, she somehow made it into something about loyalty and how I'm so loyal and the feelings that I have for it and unhealthy. I was like, how did you do that? How dare you, like, take this very innocent thing that I'm so proud of and make it about my feelings and who I am? How dare you? How dare you do the thing I'm paying you to do? How
The
dare you?
The first time she hit me with, and you think that's a normal thing for a parent to do, I knew I was going to have to give her all my money. So, shout out. I love my therapist. I love that part of my therapy that she's encouraged is writing stories as opposed to sitting down and putting myself in a doom spiral, actually writing what's going through my head. It's an easier way to kind of digest it. So, hey, if your therapist says you should journal, missing month is fun. Um, so we got 12 minutes on the clock and we get to talk about a story, a book containing a story.
Right.
Favorite
The
story.
thing that you love. It's a book with your favorite story. And how would you feel if you lose it? Is the ready? Let's go.
Ready. All right. 12 minutes on the clock. Let's go. And then I freeze. Okay. All right.
All right. I did it.
I did it.
Huh.
I.
Right. That was the writing time. I'm so ready for like the 5 minutes and the
5
1 minute
minutes.
part. Do you want to share yours?
I will start with mine. I really actually had to sit for a second as that timer started, and I was like, do I do a real world book, like a special edition that like is precious? And then like it slapped me upside the head that this is like, I had this happen to me when I was younger, where I found this book at a secondhand bookstore that like I still can't find another copy of this book. I wonder if it was somebody's like manuscript. So that's like a book she got as a child that was like a story no one knew, and even in her like modern day like access to Google, like this book doesn't exist as far as anyone's concerned, and it's an isekai because I don't know, I just decided to start setting the Chekhov's guns on the table. And yeah, just a world ravaged by magic where all of the cities are floating because the earth is cursed essentially, and so she goes
Preparing your isekai world. I like it.
Look, okay, maybe this is a writer in me going, well, I know I'm gonna isekai, so I might as well just like start that.
Might as well put stuff in there before we get. Yeah, I like it.
And so, you know, she fixes the curse and decides in the end to stay, and I'm like, I don't know if my character who reads this book is going to stay in the end, but I wanted to put that out there. And you know, I'm like, this is not a world that's like Wonderland or Oz or whatever. Like, it is dark and dismal, and she reverses it, and it's one of her comforting stories because she lives in a capitalist hellscape, and sometimes it's nice to imagine fixing the world and everything turning out fine. So you know, it's nice to think, well, what the world would be like if she didn't have to worry about rent or utilities. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm here for it.
I like it.
So that's where I
like it. I do like it. I like that. So I like, as I keep playing Missing Month, and as I keep writing every time I play it, I do like putting like pre stuff so that when the question comes up, because like the questions that you'll get later, as you'll see, they're very random and weird, and I like planting stuff where I'm like, I don't have to think about it because I only have 3 minutes to write this. I need to like come up with something real quick. I don't have time for that. So like that's also something I do, which is weird because nobody's watching me. I can take my time, like, but I have to follow the rules of my own game. But you know,
remember we were talking about loyalty and your therapist?
It's 3 minutes. You can't just, nobody's watching me. I'm the only one. but
This is not the
that is,
SAT.
fun. um, as for my my thing, I was thinking about my grandmother because I read the intro narrative part, and I was just like, and then I was just like, let's come up with something random. And I looked to my side, and there's my son's little stuffy that was a very hungry caterpillar. And if I stand up to get it, its stuff is gonna fall. But it's basically like one of my husband's favorite, not my husband, my son's favorite book. Like he loves it. He has multiple copies of it because he's bitten the first, like tore it apart, like we get him another one. He just loves the very hungry caterpillar. And so I made this story about this I don't even know her name yet or his name yet, but this character's grandmother giving him a book at 15, and it is the very hungry caterpillar. And it's like, and it's just, and it's not the story itself, it's the actual book itself, because in the book the grandmother wrote, what did I say the grandmother wrote? Don't be afraid to take risks, because at the end of the day it may lead you to a beautiful path. And in this story, the hungry caterpillar, it eats a bunch of weird stuff. That's the risks. And then he just became a beautiful butterfly. So I was just like, huh, that feels like something that we can work with. I'll do that. And so that's basically like, I like I like coming up with weird stuff, like thinking something wouldn't be wouldn't suit a 15-year-old child, being given a very hungry caterpillar book and then loving it, and that would be the favorite thing that they would like to keep. So that's basically what I did with this. And now I miss my grandmother. I miss my grandmother all the time. She tells the most amazing stories. But like, I continue to miss her all the time. The reason why I am so into stories and telling stories is because of her. So I was just like, I'm gonna make this thing for another thing.
Hey, I mean, it's always so nice when our creative things remind us of someone, you know. So it's that driving force. So, and I like it. I mean, as easy as it is to keep going out of spite, sometimes you do need to have something you like to do it too.
Writing something beautiful about love and stuff is also powerful. So I kind of I like where we went with this one.
It is, yeah. I very hungry. Look, I have spent 20 years working in childcare, and the very hungry caterpillar continues to be a goat. Okay, it always goes over well, and it's a great story.
It's a funny story for one. Like adults would who first discover it is just like, ha. Two, it's very like dynamic. There's like it's tiny. It's very creative, and the art is
Right.
very pretty. And you're just like you. There's whole. It's such a cute book. As a preschool teacher, that is one of my favorite books to use because it's just so cute, and I love that thing.
I've seen some really cute crochet patterns of doing the big caterpillar and then little of the things he eats, and you can stuff them inside. And I really want to make some for my little niece. Um, Look, you can tell how much I love somebody by how much I'm willing to crochet for them. Okay.
Yeah,
Such a
I
time-
buy.
time
I
consuming.
I same but with cross stitch. I
Yeah.
will cross stitch whatever if I love you. Just random stuff too. So yeah.
So what I think, at least for me, because this is still the first iteration of doing this, and this is the first time I'm playing this game, I think we should do our final bits of character creation and then take our break and kind of sit with our character and then come back and start doing the world prompts.
I agree.
Okay.
I was also gonna bring that up. I feel like this would be after the 5-minute 5 of clubs. We could take
Yep.
a break.
So let's take a look at the philosophy, our fourth card draw.
This was honestly the hardest part to come up with. I was just like, what am I gonna do for the fourth one? And I was just like, why not just do 3? I'm like, no, there's 4 suites. There'll be 4, and this is the hardest part for me to come up. I dug deep and I googled a lot of like thesaurus to be like, what will I use for this prompt. So if it's a little weird, it's there. I just give it up at this point, at this part here. Hopefully it's not weird, but it's one of my favorite. This is the fourth card, the fourth and final card, and
So,
the prompt is with the thing that we're gonna pick up is it controversial and how does it influence your choices? What was our clubs? It's clubs. What is it?
a belief that describes an aspect of the role money and
Capitalism?
resources should happen.
How dare I? How dare I put capitalism into this? How dare me?
Look, we can like and subscribe so we can make money. But we're probably going to get a little controversial with our thoughts about it on stream. But we still need to eat. Thank
It's only
you.
5 minutes. We won't go too deep. Thank God.
This is the shortest one, so we don't get demonetized.
Oh man, this is gonna be hard. Okay.
Okay. 5 minutes on the clock. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Go. good. I didn't have to write a whole manifesto about money's fake.
What did you write as your first sentence? Because my first sentence is, I don't like money.
My first sentence is, in a family of 5 with so many boys, money was always something to use for keeping afloat.
Yeah. The quick summary of this is that this character is in a very privileged position and is able to turn down jobs because they don't like taking on jobs from rich people. They don't like taking jobs from companies and whatever, because they whatever, whoever live at home with their parents. It's a very privileged position, and because of this, they don't like money. They don't care how big of an offer you have. If you're whatever, they can turn down jobs, and because of this, I think I've made this very innocent sort of like person that is in their own world, you know, about this privileged position to be like, I don't need money, I can turn it down. Well, you're lucky because not everybody can do that. That is the position that I have placed this character in. And
it's very funny because I went the opposite direction. This is somebody who's had to grind to keep her head above water and resents the fact that she can't take a vacation lest her money stops. But she said, I love this part. I have to pat myself on the back for this, which is, she has no lofty dreams of ever being rich. Not in resources, at least. Real wealth comes from the joy you spread, the friends you make, and how many lives you touch positively.
It's really, really nice. I'm proud of that too for you. I think for me, the thing that I liked about this was what I wrote here. I don't like that this dead piece of paper and this dead piece of metal, now this not even physical thing, just a bunch of numbers on a screen, get to decide what my life will be like. And I'm actually really kind of proud of that. Sure, privileged position, but it's an interesting, even now, like, I'm really like, every time I play this game and every time I pull a different prompt, you just get to create different characters because the prompt is longer, like you have more time to write it, you have a different prompt each time, you get to build different characters every time. And I love being able to show that here with you, because like our characters,
I mean, it's very funny to have such diverging stories in the exact same prompts. And it also shows that even if you pull the same cards for multiple iterations, you can do whatever you want with it. I definitely have in here, money means nothing. It isn't even real, but we decided it is. So, like, you know, I think that says more about us as people.
It's definitely something that,
I think I think at that point, knowing that, like, this is just my comfort zone here with, like, characters that just come easily, I think I would probably challenge myself if I got this prompt a second time to write somebody who chases that dragon and see how they would respond to other worlds.
Honestly, like, the more I play this game, because the more I play, because like I keep making characters, right? And at some point you're like, man, I've built this character before, sure, differently. It does encourage me to, like, write a more, like, villainous character, a more something else character, you know? It's also a way of, like, it's an interesting, it's a character builder in a different way, that you could just get to know the character that you're building, and then you can bring this character builder to other stuff that if you want to get to know your character more, you know?
It's a really interesting approach to building a character as somebody who's played so many TTRPGs, because, you know, typically what you do is you come up with a concept, then choose, you know, a class or an archetype or something like that, and then build off of that. This is, you're kind of knowing them as a person before you really unleash them into
The
what
world.
would be the mechanical part of the world, you know. So, and it's interesting that this is not a series of numbers on a page, a couple of dots filled in that you then have to assign a personality. You start with who they are and then move on to how they interact with the world, um, which is fun. Like, even for somebody who likes to write, I would probably just sit down and be like, I want to add, you know, a side character, let's get to know them, you know, kind of thing. And it's far more in depth than like those like journals, you know, that are like, you know, 101 writing prompts, because it's so focused on the character as opposed to like, you know, write about a interesting event. And I'm like, well, who's in it? You know, like when you approach from a TTRPG, you're like, well, I only control one bit. So like, who is that person? And you know, I have a background in
One
theater.
of the things I did when I was trying to write these prompts was look at those different kinds of prompts, like journal prompts, right? And I did see a lot of those writing prompts as well, where it's very limiting in that sense that you said, where you're just like, you know, there's so many things there that you have to answer, that it no longer becomes you making the world or you making the character. It's just answering that whatever expectation of that prompt is. And so I made the character creation questions to be very open ended like this, and then the time that you get really does force you like to go deep into it. Either the 5 minutes, you just have 5 minutes, so you have to like write as fast as you can, or you have so much time, so you have to keep going, you have to keep adding more and more, and then you get to know the character in a different way. And that I think is honestly one of my favorite parts of this game.
Yeah, so I have a background in theater, and one of the things that I really focused on was character acting. Look, I am an alto. I am a deeper registered, short, chubby woman, so I'm always going to be a side thing rather than the main character who gets all of their development happening right in front of you. So I was taught how to do prep pages where you get to know who you're playing, so you're not just that person walking onto a stage experiencing the world for the first time. They're probably in their 20s or 30s. What was their life like before then? And the first ever prep pages I ever wrote for a character that I was going to, like, you know, play, it was just kind of build a character. And it was actually my first TTRPG character because it coincided with the semester that I started playing D&D. So like, that was my first ever 20-page backstory. And this kind of feels like doing that from an angle where it's like, you know who they are before you can even kind of dress them up or design them or whatever, you know, because a lot of people, like, they, at least for me, when I'm like building TTRPG characters, I'll just be on Pinterest or looking at like DeviantArt back in the day and go, oh, I see that. I'm going to write a whole thing based on this design. It's like, I'm kind of doing it in reverse. Like, I have no idea what this person looks like. I just know them. So
I think that's why I did it this way, because I have aphantasia. It's really hard for me to imagine, like when I read books and we get to like their descriptions, I just sort of like read really quickly because I'm not gonna imagine that. I don't see it in my head. That also may be the reason why whenever somebody asks me to describe my character, I just go, it looks like me, because I cannot describe people. It's easy. Here's the picture of my face. Do that, because I have aphantasia. I have a hard time imagining people in my head. They're all just words. So with this one, I made it so that the characters' motivations, who they are, what they do, what they believe in, is the focus, instead of what do they look like, how tall are they, what is their hair color, what is their eye. It's mostly just because I can't imagine what people look like unless I see you in front of my face.
It's one of those things because, like, my dual approach in theater was I was a musical theater major with a costuming minor. So I probably think a lot more about styling than I do like eye color and hair color and all that. I just kind of have, I love blondes, I love redheads. And if I am somewhere where a fantasy hair color will work, they will have that. But like other than that, it's like I think about what they dress and like how the world that they exist in influences how they would dress, or if they dress what looks like incongruent with the world, why do they do that? And so that's kind of one of those things that when you're taught in school to watch shows and figure out what the logic behind a character's costume is, you can kind of start designing at least what they wear, and having a little bit more storytelling in the design than just, hey, look, cool person,
Cool buckles.
that's cool with a lot of belts. Yeah, that's when you start getting into belts. Final Fantasy. Why do we have so many belts? Anyways, so yeah, and then the final thing is name them, show them, that kind of thing. We have a little box that just says.
Do with this, it's just it's the most basic. It really is the most basic character sheet. It's just name, pronouns, age, personality, dreams, quirk. They're all just stuff that you want to fill in. I even wrote here like, what did I say? You may choose to give your character a name as well as their pronouns and age, blah 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 blah, or you can keep it a secret while you travel to a new world different from your own. It's just something that you, if you want to give it to them, then you have it. But it's a basic part. The character that you built while answering these prompts, that's who you're playing as you're into this world, you know?
And I do like, the thing is naming came so early. I didn't really look ahead to see that. I wasn't even supposed to know who this was, and I like your approach of writing it in the first person. She kind of jumped out at me when I started writing her. It was like the name came and all that, and it's like I just made note of it and I'll come back around to it. But it's it's really fun.
I definitely like didn't do that on purpose because I want people to just come in and just write this person immediately. They could, like, sometimes when I play this game, sometimes I write in the third person, sometimes I write, one time I tried to write it in like second person. It was really fun. 'Cause, like, it was weird. Omniscient second person, I think is what it's called. But there's no real like way of writing it. Like, you could just start, and I think that just comes from like me being a writer first than a game designer. The game designing part just came later, and so I just focused on, hey, let's write this. Right, keep writing. You can do it. This is a journaling game. Write as much as you can.
It's kind of one of those things that it's like the parts that I get tangled up in, where I spend a lot of my time researching, naming, trying to assign like an age, especially when you get into fantasy stuff where you're like, oh, this person could be hundreds of years old. Well, what is the like elven equivalent of like late 20s where your Saturn returns and you're trying to figure yourself out, and so it's just kind of an interesting thing to get to know them before you start assigning, like, hey, how long have you been on this planet? Hey, what's your relationship with gender? What pronouns do you use? Like, that kind of thing. And it's like, you know them before you get to assign them those things that are so deeply personal. And I like it. It's a good setup. I'm just going to put it out there. I know if you want to update the flow, keep that where it is, because I love it.
It's honestly like, I'm really proud of this part. Even if the last part was like the philosophy took me forever to come up with the prompts, I think at the end of the day, I really like that you get to know who the person is first before you get to their names and whatever. the normal stuff that you would like, and that there is an option to not even do that if you don't want to.
I think the next time I play this on my own time, I'm gonna try to just not give them identifiers and just do the first person and write everything from their point of view, just kind of imagining like everything about them that isn't, I guess, like the identifiers, right? Like, you know who they are, but you don't need to know what they are called, what people refer to them as, kind of thing. So this is just, it's fun writing exercise. Like I said, shaking the webs off of, like, if you're hitting writer's block, this is going to be my go-to, like, okay, well, what do we do now? So I'm gonna go ahead and name her. I already came up with a name. Her name is Gwendolyn. Everyone calls her Gwenny. I don't know. It's a name that's been on my brain, and she burst forth. And I realized the last name that I just pulled, which was from TTR or like text roleplay name that I've been using a lot recently, is Meadows, which, for those of you who don't know the lore of our little cat in his hat, his name is Leonard Meadows, because we realized there are a lot of people that we know personally in the TTRPG world named Meadow in some capacity, and I said there's always Meadows, so we need to have a Meadow on our, our channel. So that's Leonard lore, our little Leonard. So we're gonna do Gwenny Meadows. She's been she/her this whole time. Age.
I write my character's information here as well.
I think, I don't know, like someone who is just grinding. That feels like someone in their early 30s. Maybe it's just me, because that was when I had multiple jobs.
I put pronouns 21. That's not.
Pronouns 21. You know what? I will test that out and see if that works. Personality. That's a fun one, because like you feel like you know them, but like trying to define someone's personality in like what would be like a
In
text
just one
box,
word
like,
kind of thing.
you're like, I'm just, or like a phrase, right? Like I just recently tried out Daggerheart, and like you have to define your character through like a phrase that describes an experience. And the character I brought into that, like I had do it scared but do it anyway, and I was like, that's like kind of a really succinct way to describe somebody who's, you know, right now just numbers on a page, but it gives me a whole idea of like who they are. And I don't know, like the first thing that comes to mind with this character I wrote is work hard, play hard.
That's a good one. And I think honestly, like the reason why I didn't give so much specificity in like, you know, in the personality, the dreams, like what do you mean by dreams? What do you mean by dreams? Like what do you want?
Right.
And I know that's a lot of like vibe stuff, and maybe some people who are a little bit more crunchier may not appreciate it, but in this solo journaling game, it's not crunchy. It's not a very crunchy game. So maybe I'm sorry, but that's why, like, that's why it's not very. You can definitely just write whatever. I think the thing that I put here for Jasper, who is he him, 21. He's a 21-year-old, and he's definitely idealistic. As you've read, he is like, oh, I just dream of gardens and planting gardens, and nothing bad has ever happened to me in my life. My parents are lovely. They're great. I don't like money. I don't care about being famous. Or he's a very idealistic boy, and I love him. I will destroy him in the prompts that we play, because that's how much I care about it.
If there's ever an age to assign an idealist who has not quite had the reality of, I actually need to make enough money so I can afford things, money isn't real, that's going to be a 21-year-old, and a 21-year-old boy on top of
That's
it.
why I put like 21. You are 21 years old, you're idealistic, and you just care about gardens.
You are baby.
And if I love you, I will destroy you. And I love Jasper with all of my heart, and I will destroy him in the prompt.
The strongest metals are made in a crucible, so for dreams, that's a fun prompt that's just so open-ended, where it's like, well, are you gonna like talk about what they actually like dream of when they lay down and sleep? What is the thing that plagues them, or is it like lofty goals? And I really just think the dream for Miss Gwenny is rest.
That's a very good dream. I just want to sleep. Honestly, that feels like a
God,
vibe.
let me rest. So you can
Vibe
tell
is,
this woman
I
is
want
in her
to sleep.
30s.
That is my vibe.
Whoops. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, beans. I typed in there. I have so many tabs open right now, y'all. Oh, I hit it again. I somehow turned this PDF upside down. I'm so good.
Oh wow.
I figured it out. And the quirk. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's me and I turn everything into a song lyric if I can. I just think the quirk is Daydream Believer.
I think it's a good one. I just stole it from not stole, it's my own thing. I just took it from the last part, doesn't like money. Which is a quirk. It's a quirk, really, like that you can
Look, I just appreciate that Jasper is not on that Sigma Dog grind set. I appreciate him. As a 21-year-old male in this day and age, he is a cut above. Let's destroy him.
I love him, and he will be destroyed. That'll be great. The last question is a build up to the actual game. We've been playing this game for about an hour and 53 minutes because we do take breaks and talk about it. But we are just finishing character creation. So, yeah.
I mean, it's such a, like, this would be the first thing I thought of as I kind of checked the time and was looking at, like, how much I've already written, how much time I've already been able to invest in this. I'm like, this is, like, perfect for, like, if you are on a long-haul plane ride.
Yes.
Like, all you need is just a copy of the PDF that you can access offline or even print it out, and a journal and a deck of cards. Like, that's so easy to toss into a carry-on bag.
Yes.
First day, you.
I'm going to put it down as well because I will forget what it is.
All right. I mean, I feel like somebody who just works all the time. It's kind of that thing. You're in your 30s. Like,
probably.
I was at work.
That's what it is. You were at work.
All caps. Working.
I will say Jasper was drawing plans for a new garden when he got yoinked. Is what I will do. No, he was looking at blueprints for a new garden and got hit by a truck. That's what we're doing.
Working, and then a FedEx truck came in through the wall.
I got hit by a truck. You come back to your world. Like, this is one of those isekais where you get to revisit back your world. You just don't remember the world that you left, or the world, whatever. We'll see it later. But he's alive. He's fine. He just got hit by a truck.
You know, I mean, he'll walk it off. He's 21. His bones are made of rubber. Just bounces. So we're gonna go ahead and take quick 15. Y'all take a break with us. Get water, pet your pets, kiss your people. I don't know, whatever normal people do. And grab a snack, and we will be back in 15 minutes to go ahead and get on with the actual world building and meat of the game. So everyone get up and stretch, and we'll see you soon. All right. Hi. Welcome back. A little bit longer break than I was anticipating. My bad. But we are back again playing Missing Month with Glaiza, who is the creator of this game. We've been having some very good times just writing, talking about game development, and kind of the inspiration behind a really neat solo TTRPG. For those of you just joining, this is Parallel Play. This is my brainchild. I am so proud of this show and how well it's going over, where I play a solo TTRPG with the person who wrote it to just kind of show you the breadth of what can happen with the same game that you buy once, and the replayability and the ways that we can deviate even play by play. So thank you again for Glaiza joining me on my big premiere, my debut. And
I'm so happy to be part of this. I've been like really excited. Um, I feel like I'm Missing Month's biggest fan, and I know a lot of I love this game to pieces, and I've like I have been playing it nonstop. So being a part of it is really fun for me. So thank you for having me as part of your premiere. And look, Missing Month, yay, it's there.
It's really like, and I think I've said it a couple of times. This is my first time ever jumping into a solo TTRPG. I just seen them around, being and existing in this space, and I just kind of was like, let's do something pretty low key, because I think one of the problems, at least for me as a creator, is preparation. Like, that was kind of a big thing when we started Find Out Productions, was I don't have time to prep, but if I can just sit down and play a game, I am golden. So it's really great, and I think I'm solo TTRPG's new biggest fan, and I am probably going to be playing Missing Month a lot.
I love that I was the one that made you a solo TTRPGs fan, because honestly, like all the games that I've been making, I wanted to make a game where like you play with other people, and then I made Missing Month, and I was just like, I just kind of want to write solo TTRPGs from now on. And like every single idea I have, how can I make this into a solo TTRPG? How can I do just play with myself, really?
Right.
And you know what?
Look, as somebody who has friends across many time zones and friends who have very strange schedules, myself included, as a mortuary worker, I don't know if I'm going to have an evening free. Someone might die. It's really nice to not have to be beholden to, I have to get a whole table together to sit down and play a game. So it's nice. Let me just say, as somebody who loves to play but doesn't always have the schedule for it, this game is also just it's a testament to you, Glaiza, that I can just sit down and do it, having no experience doing it.
Well, I'm glad. I really want, especially like with the games that I've been making and putting out there. A lot of the times, prep is important, of course. Like prep is great, and if you want to prep, it's really important. But I also want to honor, give a shout out to the people who are like, let's just wing it and let's just play. Let's just play by vibes, which is mostly how I create characters. Like I find a bit, and then I just stick to it until the very end. And I'm a big let's just see where it goes. And Missing Month is definitely let's see where this goes. Let's see where your world goes. Let's see how you build this world.
It's one of those things that it's just really fun to watch something bloom without it stressing you out. As somebody who tried to do the GM thing professionally to start playing, and then I realized people are depending on me and I have to actually have some sort of preparation, it then became an impossible task. And so it's like, no, you just gotta do it.
This is also like one of the things that I made that where I was just like, man, I want to build a world, but I don't want to spend time prepping it. You know what? Let's just play this game, and then by the end of it, I have a fully built world that you know, you just sort of like it's a game that builds worlds. It's also a good character motivation game or whatever. Like parts, the parts of the game that it is useful for other things. Like if you need a
Right.
world to build, they're the world prompts. If you need a character motivation, there it is. You know, like it's a good game if you need inspiration, which sometimes I
Yeah,
think a lot of people do.
it's definitely one of those things that it's going to go into my repertoire along with a large folder of character development questions I have acquired over a decade on the same Google Drive. So, you know, it's just kind of one of those things. It's like, I need to get to know who I'm playing. Here we go. I'm going to sit down with Missing Month and think about them. So, we're going to go into part two, which is the meat
The actual
of.
world part.
So, walk me through what my next bit is going to be.
Well, now that we got you got yoinked while at work, and Jasper got yoinked getting hit by a truck, we are now going to go into this new world. And the way to play it is you just from the pile of cards that we have left over, we take one card, we look at the number and the suite of the card. The suite will detail the suite will detail like what prompt we will be choosing to write, what prompt we will be answering, and the number will put the timer for how long we will write it. And then when we reach 30 minutes total of writing time, that's when we'll go into the return home scenario where you return home. Because sometimes isekai, like Digimon, you get to go back home for a little bit. Digimon.
Well, I've pulled our card, and it's
What
going
is
to be
our
very easy for us to hit 30 minutes if I keep this up. I got the King of Clubs.
You got the King of Clubs? Oh man, okay. That is
So,
that is a long one. We are at that is
13 minutes.
total time right now. So King of Clubs is 13. Okay. 13. 13 minutes. So our total I like to put like when I play this game just to keep my like how much minutes we have total, I like to put
I'm also blind as a bat and not wearing my glasses. King of Spades. It is a king. That I got right. It's very small that I'm looking at. King of
those
Spades.
spades. Okay. Just also like when I was thinking of like the hearts, the sweets, the all that, I did come up like with an overarching like idea of like the hearts are definitely focused on, I believe, the people of the world.
Mhm.
Like the people, the questions surround the people. Like the questions are about people. Um, the diamonds are like the resources, like the questions surrounding resources. The spades, I believe, I put that as like danger questions. And then the clubs, they're more of like the religious beliefs or the cultural questions of the world that you're building. That was the overthinking when I was making, and then when I made the questions, that was what I was thinking of. For
I mean, that's a really good kind of guardrail to give yourself when you're writing the prompts too, because like, where do you even start with that? So that's I really like that, and I'm kind of glad we got spades, and I'm glad we got the king because this is a very cool prompt. No matter how quickly you run, they are right behind you, almost catching you at every turn. Officers of the law are their official title, but you know what they truly are. What are they, and why are they chasing you?
Oh man, okay. Already for like the first, we're already like into it. We're already like that's a
You just get yoinked from your world, and you are already
and then
on the
somebody
run.
the officers of the law are suddenly chasing you. That is the first prompt. Okay, okay. We can do this. We
Okay.
can do this.
Ready?
Like I didn't write this prompt. Like I'm acting like I didn't write this prompt myself. Like I didn't do this to myself.
Oh my god, I'm so surprised.
I'm
by
so
this
surprised
piece
by
that I
what
wrote.
I'm so surprised by what happened. Like I didn't do it. That's how I play a lot of things, really.
Well, we've got 13 minutes on the clock and time to get running.
Let's go. Oh, all right. We did it.
We did it. So mine definitely was like Fae inspired. That was the first thing I could think of, but like not like teehee cute Fae, but like limbs and teeth and strange movements Fae. And they're chasing her through some sort of town, And as she's trying to outrun them, I started writing that her memories of who she was at home started slipping away. Like her to-do list of like, I hope someone gets those croissants out of the oven. I need to get this wedding cake here on this day. Someone needs to tend my birds. Someone feed my sourdough starter. And then it was just like, all of a sudden, it's just adrenaline, and she's trying to guess. Like, I don't think I'm an outdoorsy person, judging by my physique and pale skin, and like I'm about to have to be outdoorsy as hell. So
that's. I like that you made the character also start to forget who they were in the other world, and it's a very good choice, and I really like that. I, on the other hand, is like, what the fuck is happening? What the hell? Where am I? How did I was just walking around. Mine is a little bit more Eldritch style. I made Jasper drop in the middle of what is a feast, and all of the food went all other people's faces, and the guy in the king guy starts screaming and points to Jasper to be like, hey, and he doesn't understand the language. The guards come out from behind him, and he notices that their faces, though they have the normal human face, he can sort of see through them, and seeing through them, he can see insect faces underneath it, and they're kind of like, and he's like super scared about it, and it's just these guards. Everybody else seems normal. And so he's just running away from these guards, and somehow the guards are angrier, and they're like, this isn't a normal reaction for somebody that just interrupted a party. Why are you so angry at me? Why are you like? And then that's where it ended.
Yeah, I had dense woods in the distance that she was trying to reach. She was in a town, and all she could see were doors slamming and windows locking as she was getting chased by these things. So she doesn't even know if this is what everyone else looks like, but that's what she saw. So yeah, fun little thing. Interesting that you dropped immediately into where you can see that they're different, and then I did, this could be what people look like, but I have no earthly idea. So very fun.
Yeah,
I did that.
It's definitely I like that. I just really love the idea of you also sort of forgetting a little bit of who you are while you're in there.
Very much inspired by like fairy stories. Like as soon as you enter the realm of Fae, you forget who you are. You know, like my heritage is very Irish, so I was very much raised on those fair folk stories of if you cross the fairy ring, you may
start forgetting a little bit of who you are. Yeah. And I also, with my one, I also like, he's too busy running away, but he does notice that, hey, I don't remember these plants. What are these plants? And as he's running away. So just a little bit more of this isn't my world. This is a different world.
It's very interesting to have him notice like the foliage first, because
then
his realm, you know. So and then we get to pull another card. So we're at 13 minutes
so
already.
Normally in Missing Month, when we play this, like when you're playing this game, after you write a prompt, you take a break. So it's like a 5-minute break at the very least, and then at the very most you can take a whole day break, as long as you take a break. And that the purpose of that is for you to sort of like forget what you wrote, so it's not fresh in your mind. It blurs a little bit, so that you're like, you remember a little bit of what you wrote, but you don't remember it completely. So that's the purpose of the break in between, so that you could just keep building on the world and you're not stuck on what you just wrote.
Right.
We won't be doing that. We just, just for the purpose of the game display, kind of thing.
It's kind of an interesting thing, because I actually think, as far as being able to forget for myself, it would be better if I typed it, because I tend to remember everything I write down, but I forget what I type. So,
Nice.
Kind of like a weird thing, like. So.
No, I'm actually the same. What you were saying, like when I type stuff, I'm like, all right, it's gone. when I write it, I'm like, the act of writing, yeah. But when I type it, I'm like, yeah.
It's a weird thing, and this is going to be me extending our break, so we do get to have a moment before we go back to it. I learned recently that typing, especially if you do it on a touch screen, only utilizes like two senses. Really, it's visual and it's like tactile, very barely, especially if you're using a touch screen. But if you write, it's actually activating more parts of your senses because you have the
Oh,
visual and the tactile. You also have spatial and like the sound of writing.
the pen.
It's like because it has multiple inputs, you're more likely to remember it. Whereas if
Oh.
you type something up, it kind of slips your memory more. So
So if
kids,
you guys are gonna
take
play Missing
notes.
Month, you have to play it by typing to get the full effect of not remembering.
Right. It just kind of, if it's something you really do want to kind of experience with that forgetfulness, it is something to consider. This is something you could do in a notes tab on your phone, and you'll probably not remember things, especially if you give yourself a break.
That is on purpose. You're not supposed to remember when you return to your world. You forget the world that you visit. That is all on purpose, guys. I did that on purpose.
Totally on purpose. Everything is very
Designer
intentional.
here.
Right. 5D chess.
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull our second card so we can go ahead and get to the next prompt. So I need to double check something because it's 10. Okay, just making sure it's not the one that we used before. It is the 10 of clubs.
Oh, well, we're doing really well. 10 of clubs. And our total time is now 23.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing really well. We're getting to the return home scenario in like a few minutes here.
Yeah.
Because we're getting to that part where it's since I told you not to read the instructions. At 30 minutes exactly, or as close to it as possible, we go to the return home scenario. In this case, I'm thinking after this, we can go do the return home scenario. And then, because it's close enough to 30 minutes, it's like 20.
Mhm.
We're close
Yeah.
enough to 30 minutes. And then we can do the return home scenario. But that's basically part one. Each part of your world visits, you go to, you get to have a chance to return home, where you don't remember the world that you were at, but something happened because you did go missing for a little bit.
Yeah.
You did go disappear a little bit, and the world that you left does realize something left. So that's the purpose of the return home scenarios, which I'm really excited that we're like after this we'll do a return home scenario.
Excellent. I love that. Yeah, that's really fun, and especially like it'd be fun to do the world building prompts one day and then maybe even let it sit a week and then come back to it. It's
Yeah.
just kind of it's your game. You get to do it by yourself.
You
Set
can make
your own
it however
plan.
you want. You can make your world however you want, really.
So I'm gonna go ahead and the clubs, which you said was the
Culture.
culture stuff. We're going to do the 10. So we've got 10 minutes on the clock. And our prompt is, with your hands in your pocket, you gripped an object tight within your hands. What is it, and why are you attempting to bring this item back to your world?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to put pen to paper on this, or
Yeah.
fingers to keys. But I don't have like an immediate thought, so I'm going to just go.
Just gonna we'll just type and then because I also was like, that's okay. We'll
Right,
figure.
yeah.
We'll just go.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. So you ready?
Yep. Ready.
All right, 10 minutes on the clock. So what did
All right.
Jasper find? What's Jasper got?
Okay. Jasper, basically, comes back to this. Jasper comes back to this world, and it's nighttime outside. He puts his hand in his pocket, and finds a card crumpled in his hands, and it only has 2 words in it. It says, "Find me." Um, and he's upset because if you're gonna leave something in my pocket and you're gonna write something there, at least make it useful. And he's really angry about, like, you can't even give me a name. How am I gonna find you? How is this helpful to anybody? And then he looks closer, and it's in his own handwriting, and he gets angrier still, this time at himself, because it's like, you can't leave more clues. What is happening? Why am I here? So it's just a lot of him being angry at the situation. And then he also realizes that he returned to his world and didn't remember that he was here. And now he's back here. So that's what Jasper wrote. And I'm like, that's fun. I like that. A little representation of like how myself like to torture my characters.
I got a little cerebral with mine as well. I feel like it's a perfect one to get cerebral with. So I started going with the Fae angle, and I really liked you're already forgetting things. You're forgetting who you are. And so I dropped her back in the forest, and she sees a rock. And it's like, oh, it's a rock. But like, for some reason, this particular one in this forest floor full of the same type of stone, this one is calling to me, and she lifts it up and remembers who she is. And I really like the part where it's like, what did I say? This is the one that I needed to grab. Like, it whispered a name I knew but can't recall. My name. And then it all comes rushing back as soon as she touches this rock that's shaped like a crescent moon. And that's when she realizes, I have croissants in the oven. Like, I need to get back. And it's then as like she's like zooming out to kind of look at this forest floor of the exact same rocks, they're all shaped like something. And she brushes up against one that looks like an airplane, and she sees a pilot's life, that maybe he ended up here. Are these all people that ended up here? Is every rock someone's identity? And so she clings onto hers as she starts to realize, when she touches the plain one, she starts becoming him. And so like, this is her grounding bit. Like, I need to get back home. I need to go back to my croissants.
You do need to go back here. That's so cool. I
love identity shit. Like, I love defining someone down to their essence and then making it an object.
I also like I like how we're both dealing with who we are, like who the person is. Like, is this person who left the note me? Is it not me? Because I don't remember writing this. And then you is like, you're also like trying to find out who you are, and you picked up a different person's rock. And I just really like that it's the same prompt, and we're writing the same at the same time, and our stories are completely different, and we're talking about it to each other, and we still keep coming up with different stories. And this game, the replayability of this game, I think, is just every single time you get to play it, it's gonna be different. Every single time. Even if somehow you get the same prompts that you did like last game, you'll still end up writing a different game, I think.
Right. It's kind of one of those things, I mean, like, let's think of like the gazillion dialogue tree, like RPGs you can play as a video game. It has a high replayability because you can play it exactly the same, but with different kind of like ideas of what the character's saying, or you can do a completely different game. Like, I mean, I'll tell you, I have like 500 hours in Dragon Age Inquisition. Okay, like, don't at me on this, okay? But it's one of those things you can kind of return to something you sort of know, but at the same time make it different. And it's what, three or
One
four
of the
pages of a PDF that, or 9 pages of a PDF that you can just get infinite possibilities out of.
one of my friends who play tested this game, they played it in a way where they visited a world that already existed, and they're just like, it's a world that they wrote down and they built, and they used it to add more stuff. Because with the questions that I had made with the prompts, they're very open ended in a sense that I tried not to like make it too sci-fi. I tried not to like make it too fancy. Like that, the whole purpose of the questions were like you can answer it however you want. And
Right.
that's why he said that, that's why they said that they had a really good time, like just filling up questions about their own world that they built. So you could also play this game with just a world that you've already written and you just wanted more fleshing out.
Right. It's kind of one of those things, especially with like the considerations of dangers or culture or stuff like that. It's kind of those things that it's the nitty gritty in world building. If you are home brewing something, where you're like, I don't even know which direction to go in because I exist in a world and know all things about it. But like, if I were to talk to somebody who'd never been to this particular culture, I wouldn't even think to explain this thing because it's so intrinsic in mine. And it is, yeah, I definitely could see myself kind of fleshing out some like, I mean, really, honestly, like the Fey realm that I'm writing in a book. I could sit down with with that world and really kind of fine tune it. Um, so
and and I'm glad that I'm able to show, like, I think, because my husband actually was one of the first people that play tested this, and he said that this is a great tool, and it's not just a game, it's a great tool for writers. And I feel like that I made this game because sometimes I need a little bit help in world building, and the best way to do that is to answer questions that people ask, like, tell me a little bit about this, and then you just come up with it in time, and then you keep building and you keep building. And I do think like it's a great game, it's fun, and you get to make a world really easily with
mhm.
it. And I've created like worlds where I'm just like, maybe I want to write a whole book about this world. And I have like projects that keeps adding because I keep playing this game. I keep playing missing. I'm a big fan of this game. This is my favorite game that I've ever made, and it's lovely.
It's really
And
obvious with how you're just latching on to a game you said you've played dozens of times and being able to pull something out of thin air with it. And I think that's really nice to see, like a dev be so excited about their own game even after months of playtesting and going through the process of formatting and all that, like at least in theater you've done the same show 1,000 times and you're like, I swear to god, if I hear "Oh What a Beautiful Morning" one more time in my life, I'm going to start punching people. uh, so
I think one of my goals with game dev is I want to make games that I want to play over and over again, and that's that's important to me. Because if I enjoy a game that I make, then that means I've succeeded. Whether it becomes popular, I would love for it to be popular, but the fact that I'm playing it regularly and enjoying every single time I play it, it's already a success to me. And it's very rare that I find something that I enjoy, which I made. So this for me, Missing Month is one of those things where it's just like, I'm really happy with what I made, and it's great, and I hope people like it. But it doesn't matter if they don't because I like it.
and that's kind of, I think, what makes it such a delight to play, because it's not, I hate to use the term in, capitalist hellscape, everything we do is a money grab if we put it out for people to see, but it doesn't feel like I'm trying to make this as palatable to the most demographics as possible. It's palatable to me, so people who are like me are going to enjoy it, and that's my audience I want.
That's also like something that a lot of people are when it comes to game dev anyway. You can't please everyone.
Mm-mm.
You cannot. like even the discourse that you're seeing on the socials, you can see that you will never be able to please everyone. You need to find a target audience. And why not make yourself be a part of that target audience? And that's basically like that's how I've decided when it comes to being a game dev, when it comes to making games, I want to be the target audience. I want to make something that is targeted towards me because I want to play it. And if that means I can find other people who are like me, and then if they like playing it, then it makes it easier to make the game because then I get to play it as much as I want and they get to play it as much as they want. And I know that they will like it because they're like me and I like it. It's, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's the find your tribe, just make it online. So, like, I'm already seeing, like, I'm going to be sending this link to this game to, like, all of my friends I do text RP with. I was actually just thinking where you said, I want to, like, an established world and, like, fill it in. There's a text RP that I've been doing for a month or two with a friend of mine, shout out to my friend Tim, where it is, I guess the technical term would be a reverse isekai, where it is someone from a fantasy world dropping into rural Texas.
I think that's really fun.
And so to write rural Texas as the isekai would be
I would love
really
that. I would love for this fantasy world person to go to Texas and answer the questions here about Texas. That would be so much fun.
I'm immediately sending the link to them when I get off of stream tonight. Be like, hey, I have an assignment for you.
Oh, that's so fun. I would love, man. That'd be real. I really want to see how Texas would be answered by this fantasy person. Oh, I'm so excited.
Like, I'm thinking I want to kind of do it because I always joke that
just for myself, like I just want to do that kind of.
Like, Atlanta's not a real place. Every time I describe Atlanta to someone not from Atlanta, they're like, "That didn't happen," and I'm like, "No, there was a truck full of cows that overturned on the highway. They shut the whole highway down, and then it was the police officers chasing after cows. None of them were hurt, but it shut the city down for a day because we had to chase like 36 cows on 285."
It's awesome. And like, imagine somebody who's never seen a cow. And it's just like, and cars, and they drop into a highway, and then there's like this monster truck with monsters coming out of it, and everybody's just chill chasing after these cows. It's perfect. I just want to do it for fun. Like, definitely they will keep it for, definitely write it and I'll read it. But I want to do it for myself and write.
Right.
What?
Like I think it'd be really fun to approach things you know as if you don't know them.
Exactly.
And that's a fun angle to do from this game too, which will probably be a writing prompt that I do in the next few days. Of what if Legolas dropped into Atlanta during Pride weekend? Like, what would that look like?
So interesting.
So now we get to do the going home, the first going home. Which,
the first return home scenario. Basically, every 30 minutes of you playing this game, or as close to it as possible, you play a return home scenario where you are back in your home world without the memory of being in this isekai world. Because that's what happens. When you go back home, you forget everything of this world. Everything that happened in this world, it's gone. You're just normal or whatever. And then stuff still happens. You're still noticing some weird things. And the return home scenario's purpose is to make you more, again, to care about the world that you left. Because in the first iterations of this game, I didn't have a return home scenario. And I always find myself choosing to stay. Because I didn't put enough effort in the world that I left behind. So I always found myself leaning towards staying because this is the world that I spent more time in. And so the return home scenario gives you more tension in the game. To be like, because at the end of the game, you have to choose where your character will stay forever because the travel between worlds is closing. And that's the part that's the saying goodbye part, which we will get to later. But this is the first return home scenario.
For those tuning in, because of time constraints and to make sure that I can get to EPs at a reasonable hour, we are going to split this into 2 parts. So we're going to do the first going home scenario or return home prompt, which is going to be 30 minutes. And then we're going to return next Sunday at the same time. What?
It's just whatever we pull. Again, it's based on the cards that we pull. It's not going to be... the return home is 30 minutes. So the 30 minutes in, like, how many times? So right now we've written 23 minutes in the world. And it's close enough to 30 minutes. So the first return home scenario, we will pick a card. And the card will decide how long we write and answer that prompt.
So we will go ahead and pull a card. Shuffle. And we have an ace of spades.
Oh, look, it's just a minute. We'll spend a minute answering the return home prompt. If you go to the page where it says return home prompts, what was it? The ace of
spades.
The first return home prompt is: someone notices you've been missing for hours at a time. Who are they, and how do you convince them to drop it? Spade is someone you despise. The someone who've noticed you're missing hates you and is like, where are you going? What have you been doing?
We have a minute.
We have a minute to write this return home scenario. And this is gonna be difficult, but also fun. This is the tension, because like you have to write for only a minute, and then the return home prompt is done. And then you start the world traveling again. All right.
Okay.
Someone I despise. It says someone you despise. Right?
You despise. It does not say that they have to hate you. You just hate them.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. That was honestly, I think it being a minute is enough to just get a blip.
Yes.
Of who that person is. And I feel like if I wrote any longer, I would have gotten too verbose. I'm going to read exactly what I wrote from my character's point of view. Which is, Jesus Christ, how did I miss that many phone calls from him? 120 missed calls, 43 text messages, 30 voicemails? Jesus Christ, I wish you would just catch the hint. The first message pulls up with, where the fuck have you been? I just want to talk. We can work it out, I promise.
Nice. Here is mine. Where have you been? I know I shouldn't have accepted this job. Well, that's not true. I liked his mom, and his mom asked me to build his garden. I just hated... whatever, it's her son. He was everything I hated about rich people. Always asking for results and receipts and nickel and diming me. And then 1 minute was done. And that was it. And it was perfect.
Wow.
Just this random son who his mom asked me to build his garden. And he was just annoying. And it was perfect.
And honestly, having the first return home be the note we end on, to then pick back up fresh and a little foggy next week is going to be really fun, especially with the whole kind of concept of the missing month. So next time we're going to go for 60 minutes for the first prompt, you said, and then
So
we get to do
the way we decide when we're gonna go to the return home is the total minutes that we've written. Or basically, we've written like 23 minutes in the world itself. You then go return home when you're close to 30 minutes. So the next one we'll keep writing, and then we'll go like when we're close to the total of 60 minutes. Then we'll do the next return home, and then we'll write some more, and then we'll go 90 minutes, and then finally 120. That will be the last return home. And the last return home prompt is very connected to saying goodbye, which will be the longest one, which is 30 minutes of us going through and rereading everything and writing the letter. You don't need to write the letter for like the whole 30 minutes. The 30 minutes is meant for you to like go back to what you've written in the past and try to remember and try to take the decision.
Reflection.
Which world you're gonna leave and stay.
Yeah.
Behind, so.
Well, this has been an absolute delight.
I had a great time.
I really appreciate you coming on and letting me play in the sandbox you've made and make my own sandbox.
Much fun.
I understand why my cats dig for 5 minutes once they get new sand. So this is great, and like world building, at least for me as a writer, is the hardest part. I am so good at filling a world with people, but dear God, don't ask me what else is going on in it. So I'm very much a character writer, and so to world build from a character's point of view is the best way for me to approach this. And I think this is going to make me both a stronger tabletop player, stronger writer, and just a little bit more abstract in my
because like I also saw this from the point of view, like I think one of the things that I really liked was watching this one dad tell his kids to give him instructions to make peanut butter. And I think in that mindset, sometimes you don't know what a character doesn't know until you have to explain to them what that world is. And I think world building is similar in that you don't know what you need to create in a world until something comes up and a question is asked that you have to answer it, and you're like, oh, and you have to come up with a decision. Why are these officers of the law suddenly chasing you? Why does this guy hate you? Why what are you holding in your hand that's different? Why is it important? And then you just build the world from that, and you keep going, and it's so good.
It's just, honestly, I just looked down and like we've been doing this for hours. It does not feel like it. Like, it just feels
and we've written
like
so much. Like I wonder how many words we've written.
Yeah, I'm probably going to copy paste this into a Google Doc to try to get my word and character count. My wife has lovingly bullied me in the fact that I am what she refers to as a prolific writer, where I will have nothing on a page and then suddenly there's 20,000 words in an afternoon. And then I send it to her to edit and she goes, bits, send me bits. So this will be her undoing. Thank you. It's fantastic. So we're going to reconnect next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. EST, which is going to be 4:30 PST
for part 2
for part
missing
2
month in different worlds.
I'm delighted. So my debut of parallel play has gone entirely above and beyond what I was even expecting, and I'm having the absolute best time. So we are going to be able to see this format come through with other indie TTRPGs, the solo ones at least. So if you, in my lovely audience out there, have any indie TTRPG solo games that you create or you are a fan of, shoot a little message over to us on Blue Sky, or give me a holler on my own personal one, and I would love to feature you or a friend or whatever, and I will absolutely be running wild with these. And
This is
I'm
a
going to try to
really
do it
fun
about
show.
once a month. So keep up with our socials. I am Siobhan. I am found at Dr. Bubbles PhD or Find Out Productions. And we've had the lovely Glaiza with us today.
Hello, I am Glaiza, and I do a lot of things on the internet. Pronouns are he, they, she. Um, you can find me anywhere that you find a classical Glaiza. If you have found a classical Glaiza, guess what? You have found me. If you want the link, it's connect.classicalglaiza.com. If you find a different Glaiza, I recommend just approaching with caution. That is not me. But hey,
It,
thanks for having me, and thanks for playing my game. Thanks for letting me be part of this. And if you want to get Missing Month, it is still in early access. The game is done, so you get access to all of this on my itch.io. Um, but the layouts are coming, the artwork is coming. Um, it won't change how much it costs if you pay for it in early access. It won't charge you more or whatever, but it will rise. The price will rise the more finished it gets. So jump on and get on this writing tool solo journaling game that you are seeing right now, because honestly it's really good. Like, Missing Month is one of the best games I have personally ever played. So
it's fantastic, and I'm definitely going to have a lot of fun with this, even in the time between sessions. Make new characters, new worlds. This has been Find Out Production. Thanks for fucking around with me, and we will see you next week.
bye.